Communication the Cleveland Clinic Way by Bianca Cavalieri. Chapter 1, Patients First. CEO of Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Toby Crossgrove, started a program in 2009 to improve healthcare communications. Dr. Crossgrove was invited to speak at Harvard Business School. During his lecture, a girl, Kara, commented about her father, a physician who needed mitral valve surgery. She spoke about her family's decision to pick a hospital for his treatment. Kara stated, "Because we heard you had no empathy," was a deciding factor as to why her family chose against Cleveland Clinic. 10 days later, Crossgrove was in Saudi Arabia, where he was attending the dedication of an international medical city. During this convention, he listened to the president of the hospital speak about the kind of care they were hoping to provide. Crossgrove realized we need to treat the soul and spirit of the patient, not just the body. Crossgrove's improvement to the Cleveland Clinic healthcare started with the concept of patients first as the motto. Crossgrove wanted to improve the care and experience for our patients at their core. Crossgrove wanted the culture of the Cleveland Clinic to be a more patient-centered environment. One example from the book that resonated with me was when the voice of Patient Advisory Council asked the members of an architectural firm that was presenting plans for a new building to go around for the day in a wheelchair and report back. As speech-language pathologists, it is important to put our patients first throughout therapy and planning and day-to-day sessions. The scalpel and the soul relates back to the communication the Cleveland Clinic Way in Chapter 4. Is there a doctor in the house? Page 46. Dr. Folkman was the youngest person to ever be named Chief of Pediatric Surgery at Boston's Children's Hospital. However, later in his career, he believed he could make more of a contribution as a researcher than a surgeon. He was invited to the Harvard Medical School graduation of '82 to give a convocation speech that was titled, "Is there a doctor in the house?" Throughout his speech, he explained that patients were plagued by too many physicians and too few doctors. Dr. Folkman asked, "Where is the doctor?" "The doctor who tells the patients, 'I am here for you.'" Throughout his commencement speech, Dr. Folkman wasn't just talking about the doctor, but the one patients put their trust and life into. Dr. Folkman goes on to tell a story about a man who needed a porcine aortic valve surgery performed by a cardiologist named Dr. Salkner. The man who needed the heart valve refused to have surgery unless it was confirmed by his physician. The man pointed to a third-year medical student and said that was his physician. This was when Dr. Salkner realized that many patients in hospitals do not know who their attending physician is, doctor is, and who is in charge of their care. Dr. Folkman went on to say, he will often hear, "I don't know who my doctor is." Dr. Folkman's commencement speech pointed out that you may succeed at passing tests in medical school, but no one was taught compassion for their patients. Dr. Folkman's idea of what physicians learn is not only tribute to medical school, but also from life experiences of our own and of our own patients. Trouble talking relates back to the communication the Cleveland Clinic Way in Tale 6, Your Penchant for Apples. Dr. Boone encounters a new patient, Walter, who was diagnosed with aphasia. Dr. Boone quickly got to testing Walter, asking him to repeat words back that she was saying. Throughout the assessment, Dr. Boone realized Walter was becoming frustrated, but she continued on with the assessment anyways. Eventually, Walter threw his newspaper down in annoyance. The important lesson from this is that before starting the speech and language assessment, it is always best to get to know the patient rather than getting to know their clinical diagnosis. The podcast, Kevin MD, from Monday, July 13th, a medical educator shares his love for medicine, relates back to the communication the Cleveland Clinic Way because John McGeehan is an internal medicine physician who talks about how each patient he has seen over the years has only made him a better doctor. He shares a story about when a second-year medical student presented a case to him. The patient presented with advanced Parkinson's disease. The second-year medical student was able to do and report the physical examination of the patient. He noticed the patient seemed emotionless and appeared sad. Dr. McGeehan reported the outline plan of care for the patient. The doctor specifically told the patient she might dance again. He requested that he be the first patient she would dance with. Months went by, and one day the patient came to the hospital and asked for Dr. McGeehan. The patient stood up from the chair without assistance, and they started to dance together. Dr. McGeehan pointed out this was a patient who made him a better doctor. He states that books do not impact long-term memory the way a real patient can.